Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy VIII. I know this one's real late, but I wanted to get it out, and it took me forever because of something at the end. This is Chocobo World, which is like a little Tamagotchi thing that they included in Japan, but never made it over to the US, but it does exist on the Steam version. The controls of it are really simple. You press the arrow keys to move Boko around, and if you press the arrow key in the direction that he is already moving, he starts moving even faster. So yeah, really simple, left, right, up, down, all that fun stuff. This is the menu. It shows the current map you are on, which coincides with your level. The black flashing dot is Boko's current location, and the black squares are events, which you want to land on. Also, it shows the time, which is nice, I guess. Because it was a Tamagotchi, I guess it has a little clock so you could see it's 2:03, when I recorded this footage. All this, by the way, is going to be post commentary because, there's so many little bits of footage. There's no way I would have been able to do this live commentary. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and move through. Oh, right. Also, there's a move thing which sets how far he will drift from event square to event square. If you have it at 1, Boko will not drift at all. If you have it at 6, he will go from across the map to get to an event square. So yeah, generally leave it at 6 unless you want to have certain events happen. Event wait is basically if the game will wait for you to have an event. You can have it off and just have the game auto run in the background. That is a problem for one event in specific, and we'll get to that when we get to it. But for now, we just want event on because we're going to be actually playing the game. This is the loot that you can get while playing it. There's A, B, C, and D ranks and loot. A is the best, D is the worst. We haven't actually picked up any, but there are certain events that can happen where you get loot. The top there is our weapon, which it will roll randomly to do one of those dice. It's not like 2,000 damage with each hit. It's either a 2, a 3, a 1, or a 0. Our level, our current HP, and our ID. I have a really terrible ID, and there are better IDs, which will allow you to get better weapons, have a better Boko. I don't actually care too much about that, so I'm just gonna leave it how it is. If we wanted to, I guess we could reset or edit the registry or whatever and try and get, or edit the hex codes rather, to try and get a better ID, but frankly, I'm just not gonna do that because it seems like a lot of work for not a lot of return. Anyways, we're gonna keep going until we get to our first event here, which may either be combats or loot or a better weapon. Those are the 3 events that you can really have. There are a couple of others. Oh, and looks like it is combat. Which combat, I didn't do it here in general because it's a little confusing the first time you go through it. But yeah, you just get into a fight with an enemy and the ATB counter counts down in the middle, and once it gets to 0, you will attack. However, both ATB counters reset once somebody attacks, so if somebody gets there first, both of them reset. We lost that battle because I didn't do the thing that lets you actually play the game. You can have it set to go on its own, and Boko will fight on his own. However, that is the stupidest idea ever because Boko is terrible at fighting and will literally lose every single battle. I don't think Boko has ever won a single battle when event wait is off. In any case, we're going to keep moving. We're going to get to another event real quick here. Let's see which one this is. Oh, something new. Oh, hey. We got an item from Cactar. As you can see there, yeah, he gives you an item and just moves on. So that's nice. Obviously, rank A items are harder to find from Cactar. They will appear less often, and rank D weapons will appear, or items will appear more often. Now, when you're in a fight and you want to end it quickly, you can hold down left and tap right, and it will make your ATB counter go down a lot faster. When you win, you get into this little sort of like tic-tac-toe-ish board where it's basically your level up screen. If you get 3 in a row, you will level up. And it's a little random. I haven't found a way to stop it in a correct place, but it's a little weird in that sense. There's no way to accurately control it, I feel like, but maybe there is, and I'm just terrible at this. So either one is entirely possible, to be perfectly honest. All right, let's see if we can go a little bit and get Boko leveled up one, or have another event happen. So here we go, we're in a fight. We're going to get through this. I think after this initial little bit of footage, I move on to then just showing you the random events that can happen throughout playing, and like very selectively cherry pick what we're going to see. So don't worry, it's not going to be boring for much longer. Another fight. We get into it. Again, tapping that right and holding down left is the best way to get through a fight. It goes really, really quickly if you do it that way. Oh, close to leveling up. Move on. Go down. Let's see what this event is. And of course, all those items that Cactar gives you, by the way, you can also transfer back into FF8. There are some unique items that only exist in this game. Kind of interesting. Oh, okay, cool. So this is another one of the events that can happen. You basically, Moomba will appear and will give you a choice of a weapon that he found or your current weapon. Of course, we kept our current one because it's not as good. And so we just moved on. All right. I think soon we will level up and then I'll start getting into the actual highlights of the game. Hopefully that is correct. Let's see. What's the next thing that we run into? Somewhere around here. And an event? There we go. Ah, another fight. Ah, okay. So this is another enemy that can appear. This is the red bat. So I guess I skipped ahead a little bit because you can only get a red bat at level 10. Still fairly easy. Just do the exact same things that you normally do. Also, along the way, Boko, while you're not controlling him, because I've only seen these events show up when you're not controlling him, like if you're not holding down one of the buttons and he's walking on his own, he will just stop and rest for a little bit and regain HP so he can build sandcastles, listen to music, watch some TV, hang out with his friends. Obviously, these are like at different levels where I picked all this because his HP is different in each one. He can go fishing. He can spend some time under the stars with Cactar, watching like meteor showers and stuff. He could, you know, I don't know what that one is. It's like he has a cake or something in front of him. Who knows? Then at level 25, we can have an event that happens. I believe this is the next piece of footage. Ah, yes. So at level 20, sorry, you can meet Coco, which is the female Chocobo, and he will fall in love. Another event that can happen at 25, or after level 20 rather, you have a random chance of meeting Minimog, and when you meet him, he'll come with you, and you can either put him into sleep mode or standby mode. If he's in standby, he will fight enemies after you get to 0 HP, so it's like a last-ditch effort to beat him, but honestly, he doesn't usually kill them most of the time, so we just leave it on sleep. This is another enemy that can start appearing at level 30, which is a Blorba, a lot faster than most of the other ones. It's quite annoying, actually, but not too difficult if you move through and get it. It seems like our audio went a little off sync on that one. Oh well. Next up, around level 50, you have to have event wait on, and you can get this event where you find Coco stuck in a hole. Now, if you do not have event wait on and it is off, Boko will fall into the hole, and you will never be able to upgrade Boko, ever. It will just never happen for you. This is a real bad thing. She gives Boko a little kiss, and he gets powered up in Final Fantasy VIII. What does that mean? Well, when you go to Final Fantasy VIII, you can go over to Chocobo World, transfer Boko back to the game by hitting home. Come on. Yep, there we go. You get all of the items that that Cactar has given to you, and we get that achievement, which is fairly nice. So we get all those items, and yeah. Now, when you transfer over Boko after that event, it will power up. So let me show you what happens to Boko before you power him up once. I'm going to get into a fight real quick and show you what Boko regularly does in the game. And to use Boko in a fight, you need to go into your items and use those Gisal greens. And it will act as like a one-time summon. So here we go. We're going to go over to the Gisal Greens, which are like all the way over at the end, and use Boko. Now, his original ability is Choco Fire. It deals, frankly, real piss poor damage. I don't know if it's based off of your stats or Boko's stats or whatever. I have no idea. But it's just not great. Although it did manage to kill one of the enemies somehow. Now, when you transfer him over after that little event, you'll get your items, of course, but you'll also see a little star appear under his portrait. That means that he is at the next level. He can have up to 3 stars. Yes, we're getting all 3 of the stars. Also, you can see Mog there, which is a little interesting thing that'll come into play later. So yeah, again, this is after level 50. When he rescues her out of the hole. Now, because he has the 1 star, when we get into a fight, anytime now, there it is. When we get into a fight, and use the item, there it is. We use the item, he will not use Choco Fire, and it will instead be Choco Flare, which is a slightly upgraded version. You can see where this is going. Every time you get another upgrade, Boko will do a slightly better attack, which is really nice. Nice little, like, added bonus for doing this. In Japan, this would have been a lot nicer, because you could just, like, run around and leave it, you know, waiting, essentially. But in the States, you just kind of have to do it. Anyways, next up, after level 70, Wendigos can start appearing. I'll be honest, I can barely see a Wendigo in that picture. They are stupid fast. It's hard to beat them even when you do the left-right trick, but they are beatable, so you can win against them. Do not despair. That's after level 70, they start appearing. And then at level 75, you can get an event where Boko will watch fireworks with Cactar and Moomba. So that's this right now. Yeah, they both are like, oh, hurry up, we're gonna miss it, you know. And they run off and they watch fireworks together. Ain't that nice? Yay. Then finally, at level 100... Oh, right, before that. Anytime after meeting Coco once, you can find her again randomly. It's a very, very random event. And she will randomly kiss him and power him up once again. So now with 2 stars, I can show you the next ability that Boko has. So we went through Choco Fire, Choco Flare. And the second star gets us... There's the Gisal Greens. I forgot I had counter on. It will get us Choco Meteor, in which Boko will appear and actually summon a goddamn meteor. So that's kind of interesting. Kind of amazing, not gonna lie. And I just realized that the meteor was a star. Very Kirby of Boko. This one actually does a fair amount of damage. Around 2,000. It's not great, but still nice. Alright, and for some reason, the audio cut out on me here, but once you're at level 100, you will find an event where the Demon King will capture Coco, and so you have to find him. In order to do that, you need to move over to your move screen, set it to 1, and the next event that you run into should be fighting the Demon King. Now, the Demon King is actually fairly difficult. I'm sorry that the audio is not working. By the way, when he captured Coco, the audio playing there was actually One Winged Angel from FF7. The Demon King has 99 HP, but is not as fast as the Wendigo. I'd put him on par with the Blorba in terms of how fast he is. Really, it's easy as long as you're paying attention. You do the left-right trick and you should be able to win in no time. And fairly simple after that, really. You beat him down, and eventually you will win. Oh, he got a couple of hits on me there, but we're too strong for him. We beat him, and we save Coco! Woohoo! And then she just leaves. Now, sometimes you can randomly get Coco to give you a power-up at that point. Sometimes is not all the time. I have no idea why I've gotten no audio for this part, but it really annoyed me. Anyways, because Boko's at level 100, we can get the top level achievement when we bring him in. Now, to veer off a little bit here, let's look at a couple of the items that you can get that are unique. The Chocobo tag is interesting. You can rename Boko with it. 100 needles is the only way to get it from... you can only get 100 needles from this, rather. Another one we're going to look at is Mini-Mog, which you can get the Mog's Amulet item, and you can teach that to a GF. It will teach the Mini-Mog ability. We gave it to Cactar here, so he knows Mini-Mog. When you teach Mini-Mog to them, it will become like an ability that you can set. So let's take a look at what Mini-Mog does, because it is quite a special ability. I'm not going to lie. It's a little interesting to look at. As soon as we get into a fight, at least. There we go. Alright, let's check out Mini-Mog. You may have seen this in the menu earlier when I was doing some of the Chocobo stuff. Yes, the footage is all over the place. Anyways, using Mini-Mog, we'll make the Moogle Dance GF appear, which you summon Moogle. Now, you need Mog with you in order to have this crazy, ridiculous thing going on. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that either. But if Mog is with you when you transfer him in, you can use that ability. Same thing as when you use Gisal Greens. Back in the game, there is one last thing that can happen, is you can meet Coco again, get the little kiss, and power up again. This took me so goddamn long to get! By the way, there's a little special, like, sound effect that happens when you close the game. It's that. We will never open it again. When you transfer him over, he'll have 3 stars this time, and I got a shit ton of items because it took me that long. It literally took me days and days, and that's the reason why this episode is late, because it took me days and days and days and days to find Coco again. But finally we have her, so I can show off the Gisal Greens. We also got an item called Friendship, which is only available in the game, and I'll rearrange them later. Let's show off the last Chocobo upgrade. Now, there's something very special about this Chocobo upgrade. There are a few abilities in the game that can actually break the damage limit. And by that I mean it will do more than 9,999 damage. Boko, with his final upgrade, is one of these things. When you use the Gisal Greens and he's got all 3 power-ups, you get Chocobuckle. Chocobuckle is one of like 4 abilities that can break the damage limit. Now, it won't do it here because I guess our level is too low. It will do a surprising amount of damage still, don't get me wrong, but it just won't do enough to actually straight up break the damage limit. I don't know what you need to do in order for that to happen. Maybe you need to cast Zero on them, you know, through Meltdown or Doom Train or something. I'm not entirely sure. It's a difficult one to actually understand. But in any case, pretty amazing ability. Just a fat Chocobo comes out of nowhere and lands on them. Next up, I want to show what the Friendship item does, because it is another item that you can use in battle, and you can only get it from Chocobo World. So real quick, we'll get into the fight here. And we will use the Gisal Greens. Or, sorry, Friendship, which only affects one enemy, and it'll do the Moomba Moomba attack. I don't know why anyone would ever use this, because it doesn't do a lot of damage at all, and it's really, really difficult to get from Chocobo World, too. It's a rank A item. Also, I want to show off the Phoenix Pinion, but I think she counters before I could do that, so that'll happen in the next fight. You can get a lot of interesting items from Chocobo World. In addition to those unique items that I mentioned before, you can also get... or maybe I actually show it at the end here. Yeah, I think I do. So never mind. We'll talk about that in a second. So I want to show off the Phoenix Pinion, because if I'm showing off all the extra GFs in this episode anyway, why not, right? The Phoenix Pinion's an interesting item in that it will revive all of your party members and do damage. And on top of all of that, the Phoenix then has a % chance to come back when your entire party has been defeated. It will actually just randomly come back, much like Gilgamesh does, when your entire party falls. And it can come back multiple times in the same fight. I remember when I was a young kid, my friend tried to fight Omega Weapon and was failing horribly at it, but he got the Phoenix to come back 4 times in the same fight. And it was kind of impressive. Once when he cast it, and 3 more times as his party kept falling. Phoenix Pinion doesn't do that much damage, and really doesn't help when you're trying to level up, or not level Squall, rather. I was really surprised when he didn't actually level up here. It was just enough XP that it wasn't going to level him. But be careful of that. Phoenix Pinions are interesting in that way. So, yeah. Anyways. I want to show off a couple of the other items that you can get. Obviously, all the stones, a whole bunch of random things, bunch of scrolls, and learning ability stuff. Things that can raise your compatibility with different GFs. You can get a ribbon, which teaches the ribbon ability. It's the only thing that will make you completely immune to all status effects. Also, the bomb spirit is unique there. And you can get another magical lamp, of all things. However, when you use it, nothing really happens in a second here. Yeah, nothing happens, because you already have Diablos. But you can get another one, just for the hell of it. You can also, I believe, get Hungry Cook Pots, were in here before. That is an item that you can only get otherwise by refining Pooper's card. So if you really want Hungry Cook Pots to learn Devour abilities, that's pretty amazing. But the ribbon is by far the coolest thing that you could get there. Immunity to all status effects, pretty great. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time where there will be more content. Bye-bye!